Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Google Workspace Recap, a Tab Geeks Network show. Each week we take you through everything announced by Google Workspace, discussing the updates of the week and other relevant news and announcements. My name is Jesse Nolan, my co-host is Steve Larson, and we're here to help you keep up. I'm recording out of my studio today, up in the beautiful Bailey's on Palomar in the San Diego mountains via Starlink Business. I've dropped my video quality to 1080 because we have quite a few people up here, and I'm not the only one using the internet, so hopefully this works well, hopefully it looks good, and hopefully we don't drop it all during the episode and Steve can hear me all the way through. Steve, how am I coming through?
Well, you don't sound too bad, but you don't look great, unfortunately, Jesse. Sorry.
You know, that doesn't really do a lot for my self-esteem.
I mean, it's your video feed. It's not, it's not you personally.
Okay.
But,
I appreciate
just your video feed is not coming through that well.
That works. That's better. My therapist will hear about this later.
Okay, great.
Shockingly large episode this week.
Yeah. And, some coming through there. Sorry. And, yes. And also the updates that came in the recap post are actually pretty substantial. So the three ones, silent ones that they snuck in there. So yeah, some pretty decent updates this week. The Q3 roadmap got published and announced. So a lot of updates in that. There's 85 new features that they announced in there. A total of about 278 or something like that. I wrote it down. Now I'm not looking at it. Yeah, 273 items in there, 85 of which are newly announced. And if you haven't gotten access to the roadmap yet, there's, they used to do they've been doing slide presentations and doc versions of it, but they've also released a spreadsheet to keep track of how all of those announcements are doing, whether or not they're on pace, if they're delayed. So if you don't have access to that, make sure you reach out to your account rep and get access, sign all the needed paperwork, and then that'll be available in the Google Cloud community. So I think that's it that I wanted to cover before we get into the topics. Anything you wanted to talk about? I know you usually like to talk about something for at length in the beginning here, Jesse, but a little quiet today.
Yeah, well, I'm on vacation, so I'm a little tired at the end of a long day up here in the mountains, and plus I'm mostly just sitting here praying that my connection holds up. At the moment, right. I have a frozen image of you drinking scotch, so, there we go, it updated. So, luckily, the way that Riverside works, for anybody who doesn't already know or who's interested, is it's a regular video call, but it's also recording the full quality locally and uploading it to their servers for processing, which I'll be able to then re-download later on. And so even if it drops out slightly, it should, fingers crossed, maintain the file just fine. So no worries.
Yeah, we'll see. Because you're definitely coming in a little bit below the normal quality that I expect from you, Jesse. At least to me.
Normally, I'm on a gigabit fiber line. My internet right now is going to space. Wow. My latency is anywhere from 25 to 40 milliseconds, which is still very good.
Pretty good,
even for Starlink.
Considering you're going to space
it would be 700 or more milliseconds if I was on the Viasat connection that we also have here. So I'm thankful. I'm very grateful that we have Starlink Business up here.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into that before your internet goes out then and lose connection. So in the recap post, end of the week, we had one that right at the top here, pretty substantial. People have been waiting for. It was announced a while back in terms of it, coming soon. Finally, it's been released, which is giving you the ability to delegate access to a shared inbox using a group address. So pretty good one there. Granular controls for app allow listing in the Google Workspace marketplace. Some pretty extensive details there in the recap post about what that is. And then finally, seamlessly delete subsets of sites. So those are the three announcements that got put into the recap post. So if you aren't reading that on a regular basis, make sure you do, because in this case here, some pretty substantial ones came out in that, and they don't get a full dedicated blog post, unfortunately. But the ones that did, we have 9 of them. And first one for that is that Office building support for working locations is now out. Next, you can improve data privacy with client-side encryption for Google Meet. There are some stronger protection for sensitive Google Workspace account actions. Also, the Google Meet and Google Duo app icons are changing. So we've talked about this transition before, so some more details on that for the Workspace users. A better location for context for events and RSVP in Calendar. I got some changes today in my calendar, and it was telling me that I can respond to events virtually or like in a meeting room, but it didn't. It removed the just simple yes response, which sometimes I'm not going to be in a meeting room, sometimes I'm not going to be virtually, sometimes I'm going to be like on site at someone's location, which is neither in a meeting room nor is it virtually. So I don't know why they removed the simple yes to meeting responses, but that happened to me today.
Interesting.
Yeah. Next, we have improved notifications when editing Microsoft Office files in doc sheets and slides. There is now also a unified experience for Gmail logs in BigQuery, so you can configure your existing Gmail logs to route to Workspace logs. I don't know if that is necessarily good or not. It was actually, I thought it was pretty good that they were maybe segmented, but some people had different admins looking at different things, but I guess enough people complained and wanted them together, so I guess there's a way to combine them now. You can now also control visibility of admin alerts with admin role privileges. And then finally, Google Meet call control for USB peripheral devices was announced. And then in other updates and releases, Drive for Desktop has received a new version 62. So that is out as of the other week. I am actually having issues with Drive for Desktop on one of my Macs, and I just can't get it to work with my account for some reason, even though I'm now on 62. I thought, oh, I'm stuck on 60. Let's download the new version. Luckily, it came up to 62. But yeah, it says it's syncing. It's getting my files, and then boom, it just disconnects. Says it cannot sync my files, and
Really?
I don't know what's wrong.
62.0 even?
Yeah, and whatever it is, it's 62 something, but it was also happening on 60, and also I thought, well, oh, maybe it's because I'm on the beta version for Mac OS, but my other beta version Mac OS device is just chugging along just fine. So I don't think it's that. Something
Weird.
is wrong with my drive for
I'm
testing.
on 62.0.1.0, and it's been working great.
Yeah, I mean, it predates that. It predates this version that I'm on. So I don't know
Yeah.
what is happening. It could be some bad. You have 6201, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I've got 6201. It could be some bad, cache files or something in there. So it looks like I'm going to probably have to completely remove all remnants of the Drive for Desktop client and hope that fixes it rather than just reinstalling over the top of it. So that's what I'll be doing next.
Is this on your Mac OS beta? Because you're running whatever the latest. What's the version called?
Right. It's macOS 13, the beta, but it's also, like I said, it's not happening on the other macOS device where I'm running the 13 beta on. So
Okay, interesting.
and that one was running like version 61 or 62 of the desktop client, working fine. This was 60. It was failing on 60. So, and even with the 62 upgrade, it failed. So I don't know. I think it's something to do with some files. Something's corrupt. So I've got to reinstall it. First time that I've had something happen with Drive for Desktop in a long time.
Well, good luck. Let us know what happens.
Yeah. And then we have 3 other topics in the news. Jesse says that I installed macOS on a Chromebook. Well, he didn't say that.
It wasn't me. It was the Chrome Unboxed guys.
Yeah, I know. But yeah. And then there's also some events coming up with Google. There is an August 31st event called Work Safer with Google Workspace, and then a September 1st event called The Power of Chronicle as a Platform. Good luck getting a hold of anyone at Google that knows what Chronicle is and will talk to you about it, because it's like pulling teeth trying to get a hold of someone there that will talk to us about it. From a sales perspective, anyways. I don't know. It's tricky. Same thing with Beyond Corp. So that's the topics. I also, did I tell you I took I think we talked about this. I took the Chrome OS beta exam. So
nice.
The first part of that was completed last week. For everyone, you had to, I think, complete it by the 14th of August. It was Sunday. And now the emails went out regarding phase 2. So it looks, I haven't logged in, but what I suspect is that it is a practical, in terms of, hey, you get a workspace environment, go and do these things. We will check that you did them correctly. And because they give you a login and password, kind of like do a quick labs type environment. So I'm just kind of waiting to log into that. I've got to do that by the end of the month, and then wait another 6 to 8 weeks to find out if I have passed. And hopefully the new Chrome OS admin exam will be released soon for everyone.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that gives you a summary of everything that we're going to talk about. Let's dive into that first one. That is the delegated access to shared inbox using a group address. So this one is a pretty straightforward one, to what the topic there says. Delegated users can read, send, and delete messages on the account owner's behalf. And, now this can be done through a group instead of individual emails. So just kind of, I guess, a easier way to delegate through a group, and then add some members in there if you need to manage it that way, instead of going into the API and adding individual users every time. You can go into the API and add them to the group, which then adds them to the delegation. It's kind of like the same thing, but whatever. I guess, end users can update the group, right? They can't use the APIs for that. So available to Business Starter, Business Standard, Business Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Fundamentals. Basically, it sounds like it's going to everyone here. I don't see one missed off of that list. Nonprofits, legacy, all that stuff is included on that update. Next, we have the ability for more granular controls for app allow listing in the marketplace. And this is just a way to be able to choose which marketplace apps are available to be installed by users in a particular OU or group by managing the marketplace app on their allow list. So previously, admins could only manage the allow list for an entire domain. So now it has that OU and group level capability. And additionally, marketplace apps access settings like allow all apps, allow selected apps, block all apps can now be set for your entire org or for the OU or the group. So it gives you just more granularity in terms of how you can deploy those controls in your org. And again, this one also looks like it is going to everyone. No limits on who is going to get access to that one. And then finally, the third one here in our recap post is that you can seamlessly delete subsets of sites. So site editors can now delete a page with subpages and delete pages that were copied into another site during a partial site copy. That one was rolling out to rapid release domains starting the 8th of August. And the scheduled release domains have that planned to start on the 29th of August. All right. And then let's get into our 9 updates here. And let me grab a quick little drink before we get into these ones.
Get into the meat of the episode. Meat and potatoes.
Yes, the first one. We do have one that's going to be about meat, but not quite yet, Jesse. That's the second update we're going to talk about.
Oh, so close.
I know. But the first one is office building support for working locations. So this one is going to kind of complement the previous announcement back in 2021, where you can indicate if you're working from home or office on your calendar. So now you'll be able to select a specific office building as your work location. The office building is taken into account for meeting room suggestions and also helps your colleagues better understand where you plan to work from on a given day. So that's pretty nice.
Except for Steve,
Yeah. Um,
based on your experience before.
what do you mean? Wait.
Well, because it doesn't just say yes, you have to choose
Oh,
specifically which one.
no. This is a little something different. So I think what I was talking about was when you just respond yes or no to are you going to attend a meeting?
Okay,
Right. I was
got
talking
it.
about that feature. That's the yes virtually, yes in the office, or the option just plain yes was removed. This is a little different.
Got it.
This is a little different. So this is just setting a working location and defining it specifically to a building on a given day. So it's that setting that you see at the top of your calendar. It says, "Hey, I'm working from home," or "I'm working from the office." Now you can say, "Oh, well, which office are you working from?" and let people know which specific office you're going to be in. So this is not, a response to a calendar invite
Yeah,
specifically, is what I was talking about.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So
It's a logical expansion of the existing feature set as well.
right.
So
Yeah. So if
solid.
your admins have enabled this for your org, then as a user, you'll be able to set your working location on that day with a specific building. And let's see, we don't have to talk about the end user feature. I mean, if you used it before, you should know where that is at. In your calendar, you can define those in the settings, or then go day by day and update that. And creating a little event there, and choose your working location setting. Rollout on this one going to be rapid release and scheduled release domains starting on the 8th of August on an extended rollout, which could be potentially longer than 15 days for visibility. It is going to be available to most SKUs, but not all. So it won't be available to Workspace Essentials, Business Starter, Enterprise Essentials, frontline customers, as well as just G Suite Basic customers. And it's also not available to users with a personal account, but available to everybody else.
Did you cover the additional details in here?
The additional details?
With this new feature, those who manage the calendars of others, such as executive assistants, will also be able to update the working location of that calendar as long as they have access to make changes and manage sharing.
I did not mention that, but that is a nice additional detail.
Thank you.
Yes, because that's exactly what they say it is, additional details.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Yeah, I'm just looking ahead at the next one here. So talking about Meet, you can now increase your data privacy with client-side encryption for Google Meet. And those customers that are needing to have a higher level of security on their Meet events, you'll be able to do that with this new feature. I know that there's some features within Meet that will no longer be possible when this is enabled. I think chat is disabled. A few other features get disabled as well. But with this announcement, it will first be coming client-side encryption from you will be available first on the web, with support for meeting rooms and mobile devices coming later. Only participants within your workspace organization can be invited to client-side encrypted chats. So guest access will be also introduced in the future. So at this time, it's kind of for internal events only. And it sounds a little bit better there. I think you mute yourself there. There's a little bit of a hum happening.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was coming through. There's an air conditioner here with a fan that I think is probably on its last
Yeah,
legs.
that's probably
I'll try to keep myself muted.
probably a good idea
Apologies.
to stay muted until you talk. There you go. So much quieter right now. It's like,
Sorry, I'm gonna have to see if I can do something about my audio in
it's all
post.
right. Let's see here. Some notes on the additional details section about the client-side encryption. Organizer needs to join for the call to start when client-side encryption is turned on. If the participants join early, they'll need to wait for the organizer to join before communicating with others. So it seems like the organizer has that uh, main key to the event in terms of encrypting everything. Some functions, like I said, that will require server-side processing or parsing of call media will not work. So, for example, cloud-based noise cancellation or closed captions. And then also client-side encryption does not support dialing in or out. And, admins, you'll need to kind of set this up, connect to a key service and identity provider before turning on client-side encryption for your users. So there's kind of a detailed configuration guide for that. And then for end users organizing calls, you'll be able to do that when you navigate to settings and go to security and then select add encryption when you are in a calendar event. And then all participants there must be invited to the call either via the calendar event or within the meeting. So doesn't seem like you'll be able to have non-invited people into those events. And in terms of participants, client-side encryption meetings will start once the meeting organizer arrives, and there are no other restrictions or changes for meeting participants. Let's see, rollout pace for this one. Users on supported Workspace editions can create client-side encrypted calls. Sounds like it is available now with that. And those that are capable of enabling this would be those on Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, and Education Plus customers that have client-side encrypted calls enabled. All right. Next, there's some stronger protections for sensitive Google Workspace account action. This is some stronger safeguards for sensitive actions taken in your Workspace account. So it'll apply to actions that, when done by hijackers, for example, they can have far-reaching consequences for the account owner or the organization it belongs to. So this will, looks like it's just going to give you some additional prompts in order to verify it's you, for example. And through a second and trusted factor, such as two-step verification code, users will be able to confirm the validity of the action. So, for example, if a malicious actor gains access to your account, attempts to change the name in your account, it'll be blocked until the true account owner can verify that that was intentional. And some note here to be aware of: feature only supports users that use Google as their identity provider and actions taken within Google products. So SAML users are not supported at this time, and just those with Google identity as their main IDP. Let's see here. Some additional, again, Jess, you're making me make sure that I read the additional details here on all these announcements now. So in the admin console under users, username security, admins will be able to toggle login challenges off for 10 minutes if a user gets stuck behind a verify it's you prompt. We can strongly recommend only using this option if contact with the user is credibly established, such as via a video call. So I guess you just make sure it's them, and you can disable it if they get prompted for this.
Good security advice all around. We actually had something similar, not similar to this, but the same advice to people because there's a text messaging scam going around, which I'm sure everybody has already seen, but a lot of our users are starting to get it now, where the person actually reaches out to them pretending to be the CEO, and they have his name and everything, and they say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm in a meeting, I'm really stuck, I need you to run out to the store and get some gift cards for me. And we're like, first of all, he's not going to ask you for gift cards. Trust me.
Right.
Second of all, if you think he does, his chat, Google Chat, is open to internal. Go ahead, send him a chat. and even better, maybe a video call.
Right.
So anybody who's trying to hack us, don't hack his account and then answer as his chat, because that would defeat my defenses. But whatever.
Well, usually no one has access to the email. It's just for spoofing the CEO's account.
Right.
We have it happen a lot in our org too. It happens pretty regularly. We even had someone respond to one of those emails. So, yeah, still trying to get still trying to force everyone into the Gmail client so we get those warnings about external users, because they would have got that and they would have seen that. But nope, they were using MacMail, unfortunately, so they didn't see that warning. Yeah.
Damn.
This feature is going to be available to all Workspace customers as well as Legacy G Suite Basic and Business customers. And it is available now to all rapid release and scheduled release domains. More meat in our episode here. It's really building up to be quite a juicy episode, they might say. Google Meet and Duo app icons are changing. Additional info for the Google Workspace users. Yeah, interesting little title here. But this is the fact that Duo and Meet are kind of joining forces. And the meeting features have been rolling out to the Duo app over the last several weeks. And users will begin to see their app name and icon update to the Google Meet icon. So I don't think it will be animating like it is in the illustration here all the time, but it looks, yeah, I mean, that would be nice if it was. Be like, oh yeah, by the way, Duo is Meet, Duo is Meet, Duo is now Meet. It might get annoying after a while.
Well, it's only because Duo had more downloads. If Meet had more downloads, this might not have happened.
Yeah. Well, they were pushing Meet only for business, for Workspace accounts for the longest time. I mean, I think even now it still says Meet. This is available only for Workspace customers. I wonder if it says that still.
Oh boy.
Say. Yeah, it was something I know, at least in the Android, in the Play Store. You know, Meet, Google Meet. Let's see, maybe not anymore. No, I know you're gonna get all the little noises here. Maybe it's changed, which is a good thing, because before it said that this was only available for Workspace customers. But let's see. Anyone can join a meeting and Meet via invitation. However, some capabilities are only available to Workspace customers. Not available in all Workspace plans for some features. Yeah, so I think they've removed that little caveat where before it said this was for Google Workspace customers only, which makes sense because obviously things are changing and it's not just Workspace customers anymore with Meet. So that's good. Glad that they've removed that out of the way. Cool. But I did see that recently, even in the last month or so, it was still visible. Some additional details here. Personal Google accounts are already accessible in Google Meet today, allowing users to switch between personal and work accounts as needed. As before, users' ability to access domain-specific meetings with the personal Google account is determined by the privacy setting configured by their admin. So users will only see Duo features like calling or messages on their Google account through work if Duo is enabled via the additional Google services control in the admin console. There you go. Some additional things to read here for admins about deploying this and services being on and off. Make sure you have certain things on. If you had it off, some of this functionality won't work. Users will be wondering why they can't use Duo anymore in the transition, and just basically make sure you have it on if you need to have it on for users. Rollout for this one is going to be an extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days for both rapid release and scheduled release domains starting on the 10th of August. And this is going to be available to all Workspace customers as well as those with personal Google accounts. All right. So here we go. Better location context for events and RSVPs in Calendar. So Google's making it a little bit easier, yet, like I said, this is the update here where I started to see the simple yes response being removed. So now this is just kind of limiting that feature. It's just a change, I guess. It's always been, I thought it's always been there. Maybe I've just had access to it for a while. But you can now select an RSVP join method that's powered by your working location, whether that's joining in a particular meeting room or virtually. With the new RSVP option, it'll be automatically update how you intend to join the meeting if your working location changes. So in addition, your colleagues will now see your working location or out of office status directly in the guest list section of the calendar event. So pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely giving you more context for each of your attendees there in terms of where you are. Oh, speaking of meeting room and meet devices and RSVPs and calendar stuff, I was over in a Google office the other day. Oh, yes, my Google Home is answering me.
I can't open apps on this device.
Yep. Right.
Love the British voice.
So I was at the office and needed to take a meeting and went into a meeting room, and on the screen was the option to start an ad hoc 30-minute or 60-minute meeting. But what it was doing, I believe, was booking that room for me on there. And I don't remember seeing that on normal meet. You could just start a meeting, right? You'd just be able to start one in the room. But it wasn't defined as a 30-minute or 60-minute meeting that looked like it was probably reserving that room, unless that's something that I just have missed on some meet kit that I have in our space, because we only have one that I just set up a little while ago. It looked like a new feature. I'll have to share you a photo of it, Jesse. You can tell me if you've seen it on your Meet devices at all, because it looks different to me. I did grab a picture of it. Looked interesting, like a new feature. So I'm going to see if I can pull it up here and see.
I actually can't see your video.
No,
feed,
I was
so
just going to read it and see
it
here. Yeah, it was a book now feature. So it said book now, and then 30 minutes, book until 6 p.m., 60 minutes, book until 6:30, because I walked in right at 5:30. So, it did look like it was a, book the room rather than just start a meeting type of a feature. So, little different options
cool.
in a Google Office you have on Meet. So, it's interesting to see that. So maybe a new feature to come. Let's see what else here. Not too much else, I think, in the announcement. You have that option saying yes in a meeting room or virtually. Rollout for this one, rep release domains are going to start getting this, or should have this already. It was on a full rollout, 1 to 3 days for visibility, that started on the 10th of August. Scheduled release domains will be starting in a couple days here on the 17th of August on an extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days for feature visibility, and available to most customers, but not all. Not available to Workspace Essentials, Business Starter, Enterprise Essentials Frontline, or Legacy G Suite Basic customers and users with personal accounts. So available to everyone with Business Standard Plus and up, essentially. And even nonprofits, it says, so they'll get it as well. All right. Next, we've got some improved notifications here. And this is when you're editing Microsoft Office files in doc, sheets, or slides. So when you are leveraging the Office editing mode to collaborate, this is where you will start to see this new feature. And specifics on this include that an Office formatted warning symbol for compatibility details will appear throughout your entire time within a document, spreadsheet, or slide deck, and it indicates the potential compatibility issues or if any Office features are unavailable. So it gives you a little warning icon there next to the DOCX extension, for example. It will give you just like a little warning icon, and then say that some features can't be displayed, for example. So that was an example of the compatibility issues. And then a doc without known compatibilities will, of course, not have that. There's also an option to easily view and restore earlier versions of the document. New options to view version history and restore a document. So that will just make it a little bit easier. I thought it was always there. Maybe it's just changed. I think it's under file version history. So it's probably just bringing it into version history rather than having to go into manage versions, which was only in like the drive view. So now it'll probably be in the file view, which is a new spot for it on these docs. Let's see here. Rollout for this one. Rapid release and scheduled release domains started getting this on the 10th of August on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for feature visibility, and available to everybody, even those with personal Google accounts. All right, got a few more updates here. 3 more to go, almost getting towards the end. Next one, unified experience in Gmail logs in BigQuery, and it says you can now configure your existing Gmail logs to route to Workspace logs. So we'll see if this is going to just, let's see how this works, because I don't know if this is necessarily a good thing if it doesn't copy everything that is already there. Let's get into the details in this. So in the coming months, we'll move the location of existing Gmail logs in Gmail logs in BigQuery to Workspace logs and reports in BigQuery. So it'll only impact existing Workspace customers who have BigQuery export enabled. New customers will be guided through setting up a Workspace BigQuery project for Gmail logs. Okay. While the change is happening for a brief period of time, Gmail data will be exported to both Gmail logs and Workspace logs. Existing Google Workspace customers who are impacted will receive an email notification with more information in the coming weeks. Yeah, so I thought this would be okay. So once the merge is complete, you'll not be able to use the Gmail logs in BigQuery in the admin console. Okay, so it'll all be consolidated. I hope that this is going to be pretty seamless, because I know just migrating and moving BigQuery logs is not the easiest thing, but I mean, Google must know it better than anyone how to do this. So there will be some additional details here. So temporarily dual export period and BigQuery storage requirements. Once Gmail logs are set to be exported to Workspace logs, this data will be temporarily exported to 2 destinations. Your previous Gmail only BigQuery project, and then also the newer existing Workspace BigQuery project, which stores data for all Workspace applications. So it'll also impact your BigQuery quota limits and how often they have to refresh, as well as the cost associated with exporting logs to BigQuery. So they're saying here, to avoid impact on your quotas and duplicative data, we strongly recommend turning off Gmail log exports to your Gmail only BigQuery projects. Which I guess is okay. I just hope that all the old data is going to get moved across. I don't know if it was. It sounds like it's going to get migrated, right? It does say migrate, so I hope it all gets moved there. Just a little concerned about it not happening as seamlessly as one might expect, and then having to write, new BigQuery dashboards and all this other stuff and new queries and everything. So if you're using this extensively, just be ready to start writing new queries and updating your dashboards, I guess. Rollout for this one started the 10th of August for both rapid release and scheduled release domains, and it's on an extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days for visibility. Of course, only those people with this feature is going to be able to get access to it. So those would be the Workspace Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Plus, and Education Standard customers. All right. Next we have the ability to control visibility of admin alerts with admin role privileges. So this is a new control that's going to allow super admins to create a custom role, which ensures only admins with the DLP privilege can see DLP alerts. So previously DLP alerts were visible to all admins, and this just helps ensure that the right people have access to list, update, or delete alerts. And further, it cuts down on the visibility of alerts that aren't relevant to specific admins. Pretty straightforward there. In terms of this update, it's available to all Workspace customers and is also available immediately to everyone. Available now. And then final update of the week is that Google Meet. Again, a very meaty episode here. Call control for USB peripheral devices. So we're introducing some additional call control for Google Meet, which will now allow you to toggle between mute and unmute using headsets, speaker microphones, and other USB peripheral devices. And yeah,
Finally,
I guess it's nice.
we've been waiting for this one a long time. Yeah, you got a wireless headset. You got to go boop. So not all of them have the lift to mute like mine does.
Yeah, so it's nice. Bluetooth device is not supported this time. That's what I use all the time, but well. Call control, yeah, call control will work with most USB telephony peripherals. However, the experience may differ from device to device. So you can find a list of the Meet certified headsets and speaker mics through a link in the article. I think there was also, didn't they also talk about something with like spacebar to activate the microphone? Isn't that also a feature of this? Oh no, that was something that got leaked in another article. And this was it. It got leaked somewhere else. I think someone posted it in one of the communities. So yeah, I think a new feature that's meant to be coming is the ability to use the spacebar as the microphone enabled, feature. So you will always be muted basically unless you are holding down your spacebar. Yeah.
Isn't that already if you mute yourself? I think in Zoom, if you hit the spacebar, it'll temporarily unmute you.
Yeah, I think that's what someone said. They're like, "Oh, great, a Zoom feature finally coming to me." Yeah. So, but I don't think it's out yet. I think it's just a leaked image that alludes to this feature. So, not available yet. Press the spacebar to talk, but be on the lookout for it because I think it was leaked in an image somewhere. In terms of this feature that is coming out with the additional controls for USB devices, it will be rolling out to rapid release and scheduled release domains starting the 22nd of August on a gradual rollout up to 15 days for visibility, and it's available to all Workspace customers as well as G Suite Basic and Business ones. All right, that wraps up all the updates that I had. Jesse, feel free to talk with all the background noise in your studio about the additional things we have.
Apologies. I was glancing around in here trying to see if I could locate the remote for the air conditioner. I don't know if it's ever even used because I don't see one anywhere, so it must just be on constantly, which would explain why it's having some issues here. But I'll talk fast as I usually do, and hopefully my microphone will just isolate the sound of my voice, and we'll be able to. Yeah, that would probably be bad. I imagine they have the remote here somewhere. I just don't know where it is because this is not my office. But this is the best internet connection in the house, so that's why I had to sit over here to make sure that we could bring the best show to all of you. But on to our topics here. I installed macOS on a Chromebook. No, it wasn't me. It was the folks over at Mac Admins, and written by actually Gabriel. Sorry, Mac Admins did not do this. I need to go to bed. Written by Gabriel Rangers. How does he pronounce his last name? Shoot, I forget now. Anyhow, he doesn't suggest He doesn't recommend doing it. It can be done, but he doesn't recommend doing it. And so I thought this was an interesting article. Honestly, when the first time I saw the headline, I read it backwards. I thought it was I installed Chrome OS on a MacBook, and I was like, okay, I mean, yeah, with Chrome OS Flex, sure, no problem. I'm sure lots of people are doing that. And then I saw it again in my feed, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not what I read. And sure enough, he says in the article here, why not? Since Google was kind enough to add a Linux container to Chrome OS, I feel it is my duty to tinker as much as I can to see just how far I can push our favorite operating system. And essentially, he went through the process, and he details it here how he did it, and was able to get it up and running. And yeah, go read the article and see how he did it if you're interested in doing it yourself. But again, you may as well, not. Not a great experience, but it does work. So anyway, moving on from there, just thought that was an interesting thing to share with everybody. And then short and sweet, there's 2 events here. Wednesday, August 31st is Working Safer with Google Workspace, and Thursday, September 1st is the power of Chronicle as a platform, although, as Steve said, it is awfully difficult to get anybody inside of Google to get any information surrounding that. So maybe go and attend this event and see who's over there and can help you out. Both of these events, I believe, are part of the Digital Security Summer Series. This is directly from Google. 2 events focused about the latest technology from Google Workspace and Chronicle on how to drive the future of security. So, good things here. I don't recognize we haven't had any of these presenters on our show yet, as far as I can tell here, but we'll have to definitely get on that. There is one thing here that I forgot to put in the show notes. I think we have to confirm the time, but it's this coming, not this week, but the following Thursday, right, Steve?
Next
Our
Thursday.
Event on certifications. So stay tuned to next week's episode for the specific time, but I believe it should be around 2 p.m. Pacific. And we had kind of spoken about it before and alluded to it in a couple of previous episodes here, but we are working on getting some more information on the Workspace certifications. So we're going to bring on somebody from the Workspace certifications team over at Google onto the show, and we're going to do a live on YouTube during the day show. So get all your questions ready. If you have questions, feel free to send them to us in advance, but we will be taking questions live, so to speak, on the air, on YouTube live. And yeah, it's going to be another great event, and hopefully we'll see you all there and get a chance to interact with everybody. And it's been a while since we did our last live event, so it's good to have these start coming back. And as a piece of that, and why I'm able to start doing those again, is I'm back to full bandwidth on Tab Geeks, starting after I get back from this trip here. So stay tuned for a whole lot more content. We still have to do our quarterly Chrome OS update, our quarterly Chrome update, and some other interesting new shows. And second season of SAS Showdown is coming, so stay tuned for that. So a whole lot of good things ramping up and coming soon. But as far as our show, I think that's it.
All I got.
Pretty simple on my side. Steve talked for like 40 minutes, but I'll wrap up here and get off so that this air conditioner sound doesn't drive everybody crazy. It's already driving me crazy sitting here. So that's all for this week. Send us your questions and comments on Twitter at Workspace Recap and on our website workspacerecap.com. Hit the thumbs up and leave us a review wherever you are enjoying this show. Like I said, stay tuned for all that other stuff and our live event coming very soon. Not this Thursday from when you hear the show, but the following Thursday, the 25th of August is when that event is. We hope to see you there, and it's just going to be on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked that out yet, definitely go and check that out. It's just youtube.com/tabgeeks. Have a great week, everyone, and we will see you next time on Workspace Recap.